Happy Friday, you absolute legends. Thank you for joining us in the Not For Radio podcast. Duncan Hyde's still away, wrapping up his holiday this weekend and coming back Monday. So we've got Benny Boy Walker, the absolute weapon, full of bananigans, which is what we absolutely know and love. Wow, I like the little musical little twinkle there as well.
Sorry, that was
like a little strum along the harp of life there.
Yeah, it just bubbled out of me because I'm that excited for our Friday episode, mate. And it's all brought to you by the legends at Classic Builders. Long story short, you want a new home? You don't know where to start? They're a pretty safe bet, man. Go and give them a chat. They can customise a whole bunch of stuff for you. What's on today, Jay?
We've got a funeral procession to start things off in the war story department. We've got a mind-blowing number fact that you can absolutely crush people with. Your yarns and inappropriate speeches. Something for everybody. Enjoy, go long, go well. And right now, rip in like you are the Waz.
Attention, snipers! Gear up and hold your positions. It's time to load up some war stories. Your tales from the front line, brought to life. Prepare to fire.
Here we go. This one coming over from, I was going to say the sunny UK, but probably the rainy and dreary UK. Al. I heard your poddy the other day about children embarrassing parents. Here's my yarn of the worst thing my boys have done to me. My eldest boy is 13. Shudder. And smells like a sportsman's jockstrap. But I digress.
There is a tang. There is a tang.
You've experienced this regularly.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know if people are in other parts of the world. If you're, say, for example, you're in America, it smells like fucking Cheezels or Cheez-Its or whatever it is. In New Zealand, it's like rations or Burger Rings.
Yeah, it smells like a public changing room.
And then you hit them up about it and you go, put some fucking deodorant on and clean yourself up. And they're like, I don't even stink and no one even cares. I'm like, they do care. You're going to be known as the fucking smelly kid. And everyone remembers the smelly kid at school, like no matter where you were.
I don't. Does that mean I was the smelly kid?
You are fucking Linus off Charlie Brown.
All right, so the eldest is 13. He's in a football team. And at Christmas, the football team went 10-pin bowling together. Because I wanted to be the cool mum, I volunteered to pick them up and a few of his teammates from the event and drop them home after. Mum's Uber. They'd had a few too many slush puppies at the bowling alley and were off their tits on sugar. They piled into my back in the car, to the back of my car. It being winter in December in England, my windows are all steamed up, and through the giggles and laughter, it became clear that they'd drawn a scarily accurate erect penis on the rear window of my car, complete with pubic hair, veins and ejaculate. When they all got out, the window fog cleared, and I plain forgot about that wretched penis. ... Until, unfortunately for me, the next time I remembered that wretched penis was a few days later, on a cold and crisp morning, when I looked in my rearview mirror whilst I was transporting a few of my elderly relatives in a funeral procession. To my horror, the windows fogged once again, revealing a monstrous cock and balls. Time stood still. My eyes went wide as a horse on cat. I frantically rolled the windows down, and for the remaining 3 kilometres to the crematorium, had the windows open and blasted the air, much to the dismay of my passengers, who are huddled together in the back, shaking like shitting dogs in the sub-zero temperature. I had hoped my cock-up may have gone unnoticed. My efforts were in vain, though. My sister, cousin, and father were in one of the cars following behind mine. I received 3 texts. My sister simply texted, "You're a disgrace." My cousin texted, "Al, you cockwomble." And my dad texted,
What a fucking legend.
"From where I'm sitting, it looks like there's spunk in Auntie Margaret's hair." I didn't see anything about it in the newspaper, though, or hear anything more. So other than that, sweet as.
Oh, that's great.
Al, that is gold.
That's just I don't know what it is, but it is definitely a rite of passage at that age to just your full creative flow is basically drawing cocks.
Mine still is.
Yeah.
Any opportunity I get.
Like super bad in the cock treasure chest.
Yeah. Did you see someone made a magical combination? You know the S that everybody drew?
Yeah,
that has the
Suzuki.
3 lines. The Suzuki.
Yeah.
You can make it into a cock with one S on its side and half the S coming up, and there's instructions where you can combine the 2 greatest things you ever drew as a teenager into one ultimate icon.
They did this thing that was like if you gave a kid between the ages of 9 and 13 a piece of paper, like the first thing that they would draw would be a dick and balls on it.
Yeah.
And a girl would be like, if they do in the corner of the page, a sun and with fucking sun rays off it. And that was like the pure and most simplest way of seeing how people are operating from different sexes at
But
that
this
age.
is humanity. Like they find cave drawings of dudes with cocks. There's Roman scrawlings from centurions on the march through Brittany on rocks that have written penis jokes and drawn cocks on. It's just a constant part of humanity. It doesn't matter where you go. We're looking right now. I mean, we've got there's cocks on the wall in the studio right now.
Yes.
That's
Well, that was also from you.
That was from me. Look,
Yeah.
I'm just making my point. That's my wet dream catcher hanging over there.
I still don't understand, and somebody that's actually into ancient Greece will be able to explain this. But why did they do all of the sculptures of all of the men, all of these incredible men with tiny cocks?
It was a symbol of like.
If you had a big dick, you're an idiot.
Yeah. Having a small cock was seen as a sign of like you were more elite, you used your brain for more stuff. Having a big dick back in those days was a bad thing. So even if these dudes...
That is such a load of shit. That is literally elite people with tiny dicks going, well, these are clearly better than something massive. There isn't a bloke around that would be like, give me a smaller cock, please.
Could you argue, though, that if you're absolutely packing and you pull all the time, you spend more of your life chasing tail, whereas if you're small and it's not a big draw card for you, you're more dedicated to artistic or intelligent pursuits? Not speaking from experience. Stop looking at me like that. Everyone knows I'm fucking idiot.
This is Benny, who plays 12 different instruments as a DJ, stand-up comedian, and spends quite a lot of time in the sculpturium. Okay, mate.
Oh, we are off to a great start today.
Not for Radio, the podcast that makes you feel better about your life choices.
Fucking as it should. This one here, I think. There's obviously, you know who did the ha and where you blow on your hand and it's hot ones.
Blew my mind.
Yeah, fucking crazy. This one here is another one, but also kind of similarly stupid. So there, between the numbers 1 and 5, there are 3 numbers.
Yes.
Between 5 and 10, there are 4.
What?
Go, count them out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Between 5 and 10, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
What? Hold on a minute. 2, 3, 4, and 5.
And between 5 and 10.
Oh, in between, yeah, because you're not starting on 6.
Yes.
Okay. For a minute there, I'm looking at my hands and I'm like, I've got 10 fingers. Like, how does this right between 5? Yeah, okay. That doesn't make sense.
No.
That's pretty.
Yeah, but it was good though. I was like, fuck. The first time I did that, I was like, because I had to do it. If you said it, if you're explaining that to somebody and you don't use your fingers as the example in how you can count that out, that will fucking buckle them for the longest time. My wife went out of her head trying to figure it out, and she's like, well, surely that's not the case.
And math was never my strong suit.
No.
I managed to give it up in fourth form. So for your international listeners, I have 14.
At 14.
At 14. Because my cock's that massive, I didn't do maths.
You took your tiny dick off to art classes.
I was just in the music studio at art class sculpting. They're like, why has he got such a small dick? I'm like, it means you're intelligent.
Yeah, I'm just here showing off my intelligence. Fucking FYI. You and your big dumb cock can piss off.
We've got a bunch more awesome yarns from our listeners.
G'day, it's Dunc and Jay on Not for Radio.
Not for radio. Here we go. This one's from our buddy Joshua.
Hey, Jane Dunc. My name's Joshua. I'm from Queensland, Australia. Near where I am, we have a street called Rob Roy Way. And as a fresh fucking pea plater in a 2005 Toyota Yaris, front-wheel drive, manual, and fucking drifting it, skidding it like there's no tomorrow with a couple of me mates. Not going to name any of them because fuck them. But we actually had the cops roll up and everyone bolted. Holden Cruise went up a fucking steep-ass hill that a patrol had made it up. But the Cruise got banked right up the top, so I fucking flipped around, and back where we came, there is a massive fucking jump. It's not really a jump, but it's a massive fucking bump in the road. I hit that at maybe 40 or 50. This little fucking 3-door hatchback went at least 7 foot in the air. And in doing so, I fucked my starter, my radiator, and a bunch of other shit too. Love your fucking work. Enjoy your rest of your time.
Josh, I feel your pain. I have been arrested for drifting in a front-wheel drive as well. teaching my friends how to handbrake slide in the wrong place at the wrong time.
I just came, and this was just classic from the vet. I'll tell you, you'll almost be able to guess it. So I'm driving back from my mate Addo's this morning, and we're coming to the bottom of this hill. It's been raining because it's fucking New Zealand. And around this roundabout at the bottom by the park in which I live, this young buck and his mate just start drifting the whole roundabout. But then they over-rev it, and so they basically swing round, and they can't quite keep the drift going the whole way around the roundabout because they're shit at drifting. And the passenger's got his arm out the window, holding his phone, filming the whole thing. Like, you dumb fuck. Like, you put that up, and it just goes, and you'll get picked up, and they'll do you for lost traction. Guess what sort of car they were driving? I'll give you 3 guesses. I guarantee you'll get it. Just mid-fuck
I'm going to go Skyline.
No, very close.
Altezza.
Bang, got it.
The Skyline for people that can't afford Skylines.
Yeah, it's the money is Skyline. Altezza is just mid-level fuckwittery,
the biggest, the sort of person that wears Nike kicks and dirty dogs to a wedding with their suit and a cap. Yeah, that's your average Altezza driver.
And I'm a fan of the vehicle. I'm just not a fan of the people that drive it.
I had one, but the whole thing was rusted to shit. I thought I was getting the meanest deal. I'm not going to name names where I bought it from. I went in, and the bloke was a listener to George FM, where I used to work, and he went, "Oh, Benny Boy's here, we love it." He was an Altezza listener.
So the old Monaco motoring mile, he came shuffling out of his little Skyline shed on the fucking gravel lot.
He smelt me a mile away, and we went, "Chip this guy." They wanted $6,000 for it, and the bloke sold it to me for $3,500. Yeah, I thought this is mean, you know. Altezza's got a bad rap. Pretty fun car to drive, though, exactly as he described. Excellent skids. But there was a bit of a knocking noise, and after 2 weeks of having it, I took it to my mechanic. He put it up on the hoist. I'd only left like 10 minutes to go get a coffee, and he calls me up and goes, "Where did you get this?" And I said, well, name redacted, and he goes, "How's this thing even on the road?" And I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Come back and have a look." And he goes, "It's either been flood damaged or someone's been using it to launch a boat. From halfway down the underside of the chassis was just nothing but rust. All of the back suspension was all just rust. The wheel hubs, rust. And it didn't have a warrant on it when I saw it at the thing. And the guy said, "Come back in 3 days, we'll put a warrant on it for you." So they've clearly got some sketchy-ass mechanic who's chucked a warrant on it. But I mean, look, I had 2 weeks of fanging it around roundabouts like those blokes. And
Did you get your cash back on it?
Yeah, oh yeah, because I went back in going, "Hey, you know how I'm from the radio? Yeah, you want me to talk about your company and what you've done to me here?" And they went, "Yeah, nah."
Yeah.
We've got another yarn here. This one is come from Scott.
Hey fellas, Scott from sunny Surrey in the UK here. Thought I'd brighten your day with an example of the vacant human I choose to spend my life with. My wife is a wonderful person, but safe to say her train doesn't stop at every station. It's an ongoing joke amongst all our friends that she's on the dizzy side of life. For example, she thought Miami was in Spain, and she once believed her aunt's new oven was voice activated. We had her in the kitchen for 10 minutes yelling 0 degrees to try and turn it off. Anyhow, for the sake of the story, we'll call her Nicole, because that's her fucking name. About 14 years ago, we just moved in together, and as is common for two 20-something rockers, we were off to do our weekly food shop. We popped to our local supermarket, which keeps the trolleys just inside the door by the checkouts. Not sure how it is over there, but over here, they're all joined together like a chain gang of American prisoners, and the price of freedom is a £1 coin. On this particular day, I didn't happen to have any change, so I walked over to the cashier to ask if she could change a £10 note. She politely explained she couldn't open till to do that, but would lend us £1 out of her own pocket as long as we returned it. No dramas. We make our way around, filling the trolley up, join her queue at the checkout. After everything's scanned and bagged back in the trolley, I send my wife to retrieve the pound coin for the helpful cashier. Pay on card, and she promptly returns with the coin. We thank and return to leave. Only then, as we get to the door, do I ask, "Where's all the shopping, love?" At which point she glances over at the now secured trolley holding all our food hostage, and I see the penny drop as she tries to wiggle it free and state how exactly we're going to get.
Oh my goodness.
That is fucking brilliant. That pisses me off. They do that on those smart carts at certain airports where you go to them. You're like,
You got to pay.
you got to pay $1 to get the trolley to move your shit around.
The
Like,
one that gets
come
me
on.
is the public toilets that you have to put coins into. I'm more than happy to piss all over the side of your public toilet. If you're gonna try and charge me a gold coin donation, you're gonna get a delivery, but it's not gonna be a coin.
It should. Yeah, it's like just have it fit for purpose. That is a great yarn and worthy of a not for radio hat. Congratulations.
I reckon the wife gets it.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, something to try and hold on what little brain is left.
Yeah, there might be something even floating around in the country trucker cap universe too that might even be more fitting because they have a full range of just fucking
highly offensive hats.
wildly offensive hats.
Hey up, this is Jane Dunc on Not for Radio, and I tell thee, these lads are mustard. Up the wires, you little beauty.
Jay, have you ever been in a formal scenario where someone gets up to speak that shouldn't be speaking at that point?
1,000,000 times.
Is it you? Normally?
Generally me. Yeah, generally me. I've seen, well, as part of the job in which we do, we generally get asked to MC a lot of stuff, or it makes up, I don't know, the end of every year, basically, when there is conferences and Christmas parties, I'll often be emceeing things on the weekend as a basically a mercenary of words. And these go, I'm looking at my calendar now, and it's basically September, October, November are booked in.
Just
or booked
smashing
out.
them through.
Yeah, because there's only a certain amount that I'm willing to do.
At least these are companies that you don't really have that many ties to. The example I'm about to give you is my best friend, my best man, gaining revenge on me through the medium of speech. So when he turned 21, to set the scene, he was in Palmerston North at vet school. And a contingent of us boys flew down to Wellington, had a massive night in Wellington, which is a story for another day, on my then girlfriend's credit card, and we turned the hotel upside down. 6 of us in a one-person hotel room, and when we left, the furniture was like in a pile, like a bonfire. Anyway, we get down to Palmerston North the next day for this party, and all the people in Palmy hated us. One, just because we were Aucklanders, and 2, we're just obnoxious fuckwits at that age, eh?
Yeah.
Just like 20, 21, off the lamb, just going for it. And I get up to do a speech because it's my best mate's my 21st, and I tell this hilarious story about him, which to this day is a feat of balance and a testament to his horniness. He rooted in a kayak in a cave, standing in the kayak with her against the wall of the cave. Right? So you
That
can
is
imagine.
fucking impressive.
Yeah, he's a great surfer, and so he's done the deed. So I tell this hilarious story. Now, it wasn't with the girl he's with at the 21st, but everyone at the 21st assumes it was with the girl he was with. So all night, people are coming up to her doing the paddling motion, calling her Kayak Kelly, and like all of this, just ripping her out to the point where she has a meltdown. And I felt for him, like they're having this argument in the bathroom, and I was like, oh, it's ruining his 21st. To his credit, he climbed out the window of the bathroom and ran off and kept partying with us in a dress. Fast forward now, 10 years down the line, I'm getting married, and he's clearly been biding his time to do his best man speech. Now, something like that at a 21st or at a...
That's where those speeches are said. There's nothing fucking worse, in my opinion, than turning a wedding into a 21st.
Yeah.
But when those stories come out, the most recent one would be SJ, Shawnee Johnson, prominent league player, was at our very good friend Dodsy's wedding, and basically told a story about how Dodsy shat himself in class at his own wedding. I'm like, what
class? Like when you're a
what
kid?
the fuck has that even got to do with anything yesterday? And he's like, yeah, classic. And he's one of my best mates. And I looked at Dodsy and he was fuming. I'm like, no kidding.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, that was pretty classic. I'm like, no. And he goes, at my wedding, you fucking roasted me the whole time. I was like, but it was a roast of you at your wedding. It's not. It's
It was
not
set up. It was meant to be.
Yeah. It's like, you're shorter than your missus. Of course I'm going to
Yeah.
mention that, you fucking micro machine.
Micro machine.
Anywho.
Oh, anywho.
So what did he say?
So my buddy gets up and he opens a speech, and this is in front. We had a small wedding, 120 people.
That's
My
a
family's-
solid.
My family's travelled from. My grandparents in their 90s were coming from the UK. All her family's there, and he gets up and he goes, "I'm glad to see these two join together. Ben's a very generous man. He'll be the first bloke to shout you the line off the back of a toilet seat." And then for a second, there's just a stunned silence. And then my mates and all the missus mates start cracking up laughing.
Wow.
But then I see the serious looks in the eyes of the elders, and I hope that it went over their head of my grandparents and stuff like that.
I mean, it would have gone over your head too. You've been like, what are you even talking about?
I don't know what that
What
means.
does that even mean?
I don't understand this. But
What is that?
my wife was mortified.
Was he offering up a cue in the toilet? Did he mix up his language and say, if you were lining up to go to the toilet,
let you have
he
my
would,
space.
Yeah, he
I
would
think
let you have he would let you jump in the line.
I think that's what he meant.
Yeah,
that
it's
must be what
crazy.
he meant. But my wife
that's
was
the kind of guy you are.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I would take that as a form of endearment.
Yeah, but I was like, marginal. The problem I have with it is my wife didn't like any toilet chat at the wedding.
No.
She really didn't like it.
No.
And to this day, she still holds it as a grudge. And I'm like, there's a time and place, I'll let you cut in front of me if you need to go to the loo. That's
Yeah,
the sort of bloke I am.
that's exactly it.
But don't bring up toilets when you're at my wedding.
No, just keep it out of the toilet.
There might be a few people who swear in this, but hey, that's not for radio, isn't it? You know what I mean? Pal.
Have we got time for one more story?
I think we
One more
should
war
jump
story?
into
Oh.
a wee bit of a war story. Let me do this.
Snipers, reload. Another war story incoming. Eyes on target, scopes dialed in. Let's see who hits the mark.
Okay. This is from a very valued member of the Sniper Elite, Joey Binbags.
Oh, we heard about how he
Yes.
got his nickname the other week. Yeah.
Yeah, from Manchester. This story is about one of the greatest long play pranks that I've ever seen. The architect of this masterpiece is called John. I'll call him John because that is his fucking name. Some backstory on John. The man was fearless. He deep-fried iPods, had 3 earlobes.
What?
Yeah. A stretcher getting pulled out in a fight, and could whip a towel so hard that it could break the skin. He was our spiritual leader, and we followed him without question. His contempt for our managers was legendary. He taught me what it meant to be ungovernable while still being fucking ace at his job. Now, this prank took place over a few weeks in the fair town of Miribel in Le Français, a beautiful ski resort in the heart of the French Alps. Punters spend thousands to vacation there. The big secret is that the town is entirely run almost entirely by filthy little retrobates that run businesses like fucking pirate ships.
It's every ski town ever, eh?
Yeah. Think Neverland, the Peter Pan version, not the Michael Jackson version. But the Lost Boys in this situation are uni graduates trying their level best to stave off reality for one more winter. We all worked in a kitchen in a bar hotel where you could do whatever you wanted as long as you didn't fuck over your colleagues. This system works, but only if people work. If you're shit, then people start looking at you, and all those sneaky 8 a.m. Bloody Marys have to be put on hold, and that is just not acceptable. So one day, one of our dishwashers didn't show up. The little twat didn't come to work one night to chase skirt. So everyone's night was made 2 hours longer and just that much trickier. He wasn't the hardest worker anyway, and liked the benefits of being in the crew without really helping the crew. Punishment was necessary, and Big John was on the shift.
Punishment was necessary.
As we all lived and worked on top of each other, our ski gear was in our workplace. John's command was that we piss into his ski boots. Easy, pointed, sublime. Season air piss is at least 20% spirits and had the colour of a fucking bled radiator. However, this is where John's particular brand of menace really shined. Once me and the other barman had filled our boots, the kitchen staff stuck the boots under the pizza oven and the dried piss into the line and dried the piss into the liners. The piss was baked into every nook and cranny. At the end of service, the boots were put back and we awaited the results. If you don't already know, skiing is sweaty. You lay it up in constant movement and keeping heat in. Let me tell you, when the smell of those boots kicked in, it was like you were in a room with 2 festival urinals. What's more, he had fucking no idea. And when someone suggested he change his boots, he refused, citing the amount of money that he'd spent on them. His denial made it all the more sweeter. This went on for about a week until he sheepishly asked, "Did you lads piss in my boots by any chance?" And the room exploded in laughter. We turned the boots into a fucking trench foot machine. He tried everything he could to save face, but given that he was part of the same crew that had been rejecting the manager's rule of law from day one, he had very little recourse. I'd love to say he learned his lesson, but he really didn't. Anyway, don't shaft your mates, do your job well, and up the fucking waz.
Up the waz.
Cheers, Joey Binbags.
That is filthy.
Glorious.
Oh, my goodness. All right, well, we must decide.
Ceasefire, snipers! Today's top marksman has been selected. The war story of the day goes to...
Is it the funeral cock or is it the piss boots? That's a sentence I didn't expect to say today.
Do they just through pure brilliance, do they cancel each other out? Or we need a winner? This isn't one of those situations where everyone gets a certificate, is it? I get torn.
You know what I like about the first one? Stealth.
Yeah.
It disappeared and was unthought of. Number 2 is good, but that's
also stealthy.
Not so stealthy in the aroma sense. You know from day one. My vote is going with the
with the cocks.
With the penis funeral.
Rightio, the penis funeral it is. Congratulations.
I think it looks like there's spunk in Auntie Margaret's hair that really sealed the deal for me.
That is a sentence which nails.
Oh, and I guess that brings us to the end of the Friday episode. Mate, what a great week. Thank you for having me in here. All of you
It's been awesome having you in.
Thanks, man. There'll also be diehards listening going, "Who's this idiot?" Don't worry, Dunc will be back next week. I'll be chiming in. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, we're going to be back for the Sniper Elite episode on Monday.
That's right. We've got Flat White or Fuck Off joining you.
Awesome. I'm really looking forward to that. But also this weekend, I've got a wedding Saturday. We're hosting the UFC pot on Sunday. So I would say I'll be up to fuck all on Monday.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
You're up to fuck all most days.
Yep. I'm up to less than fuck all.
I'm going, it's my wife's birthday weekend, so I'll also be sending accordingly.
You're going to be wrapping a motel room in a blue tarpaulin and rolling around in each other's shit again?
Yeah. Did you see that video, did you? That was...
Mate, I paid $15 for that and I wasn't disappointed.
That was my Skeeters Elite channel that you were subscribing to. Now we're going to Sublime on tonight.
Oh, yes.
Which will be awesome show. And then I like my dance music and my dubstep, so going to Nightmare on Saturday night.
Ooh.
And then crawling in as like a cicada shell of a man to my wife's family lunch on Sunday. Hopefully having slept some.
Ooh-wee.
All right, well, see you on Monday.
On that cheery note, up the fucking waz. None of this would be possible without our awesome sponsors, Classic Builders. 30 years in the game, teams across NZ, and they'll talk you through whether a house and land package or a design and build is going to work better for you. Thanks, team. Appreciate yous. Enjoy your weekend.